No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of items. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of items.
What's up, everybody? It's Pikel with League of Items, and thank you so much for all of the support on yesterday's video for Prize Picks. Nick from @bettingthepitch reached out to me yesterday and was asking me about Prize Picks, and he said, you should really think about making a video for it. I think it would do pretty well. And I was honestly skeptical at first, but I know that Nick knows what he's talking about, and he's built up a pretty good following over the past couple of years. So I took his advice, and we got a lot of new people watching the video. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for giving the channel a shot. Please like, comment, subscribe. We're 9 away from 1,000 subscribers. I really want to hit 1,000 subscribers, and once we do that, I'm going to be doing $500 in giveaways and maybe a few other things for the channel and the stuff that I'm working on. But in this video, we're going to go over DraftKings. At least we were going to go over DraftKings, but the contests are out. There is not any lineup information yet, so we could kind of speculate about it, but the best way to do that is by talking about the matches for tomorrow. But before we talk about the matches for tomorrow, I would like to talk about the matches from yesterday. So yesterday we had V5 beat FPX 2-0, and then we had Weibo and RNG going to 3 games. So let's take a look at the spots that we played. So we had Rich with the over, Karsa with the over. They both cleared it. Rich had 6. His over-under was 5. Karsa had 8. His over-under was 6. So those both hit. But the other ones, 2 of them lost and 1 of them pushed. So the 3 that I liked the most yesterday, and I think I communicated this accurately in the video, was Rich, Karsa, and the Shy. Gwen against Jax is a horrible matchup, and I think that some of that comes down to just bad luck. Like, I don't know why Weibo is constantly trying to push the Shy onto something like a Jax into the Gwen matchup, even though Jax will eventually outscale. It's really bad for us, specifically for DraftKings, and it's also bad for real-life League of Legends. If you take a look at most professional League of Legends matches, they are mostly decided before the 25-minute mark. So in this kind of draft, you're basically saying we're going to stay pretty even for most of the game, and then eventually the Jax is going to outscale the Gwen or counter the Gwen or split push. And a lot of people talk about split pushing. I used the word split push the other day. Really, a better term would be like isolating a isolating a side lane, because one of the outs that the Jax team has is to force, just push down that lane, but not necessarily try to use it as a win condition. It's just trying to draw attention. So it's not split pushing in the classic solo queue mentality kind of way, where a Tryndamere, if left unattended, can take an inhibitor, and then if it happens again, take the Nexus. That's not going to happen most of the time, so it's not really something we should be speaking to specifically. But I mentioned it yesterday, and I just think I kind of misspoke. I think a better way to talk about it is, isolating a side lane, creating pressure, drawing attention that way. And that's part of the reason why S of M went very over in terms of the kill total. But so first up in the match, V5 against FPX. V5, definitely the better team. They won 2-0. Rich had a Sejuani game and got 4 kills, which is on the better side of variance, and then had 2 kills in a Kale game, which is less than we would expect. Wukong is the kind of champion that can get a lot of kills, but can also, just act as a primary tank. On this roster, it was obviously not a primary tank. There's also the Nautilus and the Sejuani, but it gives you some flexibility in the draft. The Sejuani top is definitely exploitable. I think that's probably a weak point in a lot of teams' drafts right now that should be exploited in the future. In the second match, the Viego game, I think Viego is a good champion for junglers right now to get kills, especially when you're pairing it up with the Jax. The Jax is going to cause a lot of pressure, create fractured team fights, and then that's kind of where Viego shines. So maybe that's something to consider in the future for Weibo Gaming. The problem is now I think a lot of teams are going to get rid of the Viego for SFM. I think that if I was looking at it again, I would probably take the orange, the fact that they were playing RNG into consideration. It didn't end up being much lower kill score than usual, but RNG does play that way a decent amount. I think that a team like Weibo can kind of force action sometimes, and there were a lot of skirmishes, there were a lot of opportunities for Weibo to get kills, but for whatever reason, the Shy wasn't able to convert those opportunities into kills. I think a lot of it had to do with the draft. Which isn't to say that it's an objectively bad draft, but what is the actual win condition they're creating? The other two plays that I gave out were the unders for the junglers that we thought would lose the first two games. So this was more of like a correlated piece. It's a secondary way of kind of getting additional plays. I know a lot of people out there want to do like a 5-pick entry, not a 3-pick entry. So I think Clid got, I don't know if I'd want to say lucky, but I don't think he's always getting to 4, especially in this spot where he had 1 of the kills out of 5, so 20%, and then 3 out of 8, which is over 25%. So that seems a little bit unlucky. Clid is not that style of player, or hasn't been that style of player recently, but that's kind of just the way it goes. And then Wei, I thought this one was a little sketchier when I was giving it out yesterday. And, I mean, he had 8 in the first game. The first game was pretty nuts from that perspective. That's not something that I would have predicted. I'm kind of okay with how I thought about it. The thing that I missed on yesterday, I think, would be the S of M over. I think if I'm looking at somebody like the Shy, it's not that I should have expected the Jax, but knowing that he was on Viego so much this season so far, you could have tried to play that angle until it was taken away from SFM. Now it's gone, so we can't use it again. So that was yesterday. Ended up posting some losers, but that's all right. We'll try again tomorrow. So in tomorrow's matches, we have 2 matches in the LPL, 2 in the LCK. So first up, EDG against Invictus Gaming. So EDG is a minus 450 favorite against IG. IG is plus 300. We have Zika, Shun, Yukai, Wink, and Shin Lu. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Then we have Flandre, Jai, Scout, Viper, and Mako. So obviously, EDG is the much better side just from a regular League of Legends perspective. They are the reigning world champions, and we would expect them to win this match pretty convincingly. Invictus Gaming is a team that has been somewhat bloody as losers, which is a good thing. So I think I haven't looked at the specific numbers yet for EDG players. It's on my separate tab, but I haven't really put much thought into it. I would assume that I like the EDG overs. I think that's the easy way to look at things. So I would also think that we should definitely take a serious look at Invictus Gaming overs, because I think the book is assuming that they will lose 2-0. So if they get 1 win, are they going to be in a good enough spot to convert on those kill totals? Then the second match, we have Top Esports against BLG. Top Esports, Wayward, Tian, Knight, Jackie Love, and Mark. A solid team overall. They're minus 250. That's a roughly 70% chance to win the match. BLG is plus 175, 36%. They also made a change from Fofo to Icon. So Icon is a player that we liked a decent amount when he was on other teams in the LPL. I don't think it's definitely not an upgrade over Fofo. If anything, it's a side grade. Maybe stylistically, he fits in better with the team. I kind of doubt it. Right now, we're in a meta that should be the best case scenario for Fofo. I don't follow the Chinese news closely for League of Legends, so I don't know if this is due to some kind of sickness or an injury, quote-unquote injury, or if this is just like from a talent perspective, they want to play Icon because they think they give the team a better chance to win, but I'd be surprised if that was the case. So in this matchup, I think it's a little more questionable in terms of the kill total. I think Bin isn't somebody that we want in a game for overs, Way kind of the same thing. A lot of the matches that when his teams are successful and competitive, a lot of these games aren't going over. He's a pretty solid jungler. If he's behind, he's just going to try to tread water and not completely get blown out of the water. Same thing with Icon. His teams with OMG and everything back in the day were basically a little bit lower kill. Very good Orianna player. I'm not sure if Orianna is viable right now, but if it is, we'll see it if this is like an extended run for him on BLG. But again, I think that Fofo is definitely the better control mage player for this kind of patch. And then we have Doggo and Crisp. So I would expect top esports to be the aggressor. It's really up to BLG to, for lack of a better term, stand up for themselves. And I'm not sure how that's going to go. So we'll have to take a look at exactly what those numbers are as well. The third match and our first match in Korea, we have Damwon against Genji. So Damwon is a minus 138 favorite. Genji is plus 100. That means that DK is slightly favored at 58% to Genji's 50%. Damwon, I think, is the more public side. I think Genji is the correct side for betting and for prize picks. The concern is that even in wins for Genji in this spot, it could be a very low-scoring game. Damwon has been in a lot of low kill total games, and I think part of that might be when they get control of the tempo, they kind of keep it slow. So if they're up against a team like T1, T1 has the option to kind of, quote-unquote full-court press and keep on the pressure. Genji is less likely to keep on the pressure to that level. I could see this game being an under for kill totals, a low-pace overall matchup. But I think the book would also take that into consideration, so I would expect these kill totals that we're going to take a look at to be somewhat lower. And then the last match of the day is KT Rolster against Fredit Brion. I did not get that number, so let's get that right now. Minus 175. Minus 175 to 125. So that's KT at 64%, Fredit Brion at plus 125. I do think that KT is the more talented roster. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm horrible with Fredit Brion. I always seem to get them wrong. So if you have another, person that you trust their opinion on League of Legends, take a look at what they say, see if they have some more in-depth information. I'm chasing my tail with Fredit Brion at this point. So let's take a look at the prize picks for tomorrow. So Invictus Gaming against EDG, Shun and Wink should both be playing. Jai and Viper should both be playing. So my initial read would be the third map is not a given. EDG can definitely win. Can definitely 2-0. Does Invictus Gaming have a chance to pick up one of these first two games? I think the answer is definitely yes as well. And if they win one of these games, these overs should be very simple. Even in a 0-2, I could see these converting on overs. And this is kind of what I was afraid of. So in a game where Invictus Gaming is winning the early game, would EG constantly contest? I think it does come down to draft. Like, do they draft into that win condition? I think that they probably would be more passive. I think they would benefit from having Invictus Gaming be the aggressor and trying to force the action, allow them to be over-aggressive and make mistakes. So the easiest way to play this is to have it be for the first two maps and consider the overs for EDG. If they 2-0, both of these guys should clear the 4. And then with Invictus Gaming, like I said, I could definitely see Shun and Wink getting overs on both of these, even if they lose 0-2. So which one do I like more? I almost like the Invictus side better. Which, that's just like my gut feeling that I'm having right now. That makes me feel kind of insane. Could you play all 4 over? I think you probably could. But let's take a look at what else is going on tomorrow. So in the top esports against BLG match, we have Jungle and AD Carry again. So Tian Tian is an okay Viego player, good Lee Sin player. I think that this, man, how much slower do they play with Icon? Because Icon can play assassins. I don't like this matchup. I don't like 3 of these games. I think Top Esports BLG, they're kind of begging you to play the unders. Gen G against Damwon Kia, I feel like they're probably posting low numbers hoping that you play the overs. And then KT and Fred at Brion, I just kind of don't want to play. So this might be a double over the Invictus Gaming and EDG. Top Esports 5. I could see this going to a 3rd game. Let's see. I think I like the Tian prop more than Jackie Love. And I think I like the Doggo prop. 4.5. Yeah, I definitely like that better. And then let's just go to Korea. This is kind of what I'm talking about. The Gen G Damwon Kia matchup, the sportsbook, I'm surprised that it's at 4 for 2 maps. I mean, that seems low. Peanut is the kind of player who can get 10 kills in one game. Canyon is also the kind of player who can get 10 kills in one game. Ruler at 6.5. I don't like that as much because in the early game, if these kills are being created, it's most likely going to be in the jungle, not from the 80 carries. So I'm definitely more attracted to both of these numbers. I think that I could play both of these numbers. I think that we want this to go to a 3rd game. And I would just say, Peanut wins 1, Canyon wins 1 in the early game, and then the game kind of gets played out. I know that it's very scary because Damwon has been playing unders, has been going under a lot recently, but I think I'd be willing to take that risk tomorrow. Then we have KT Rolster against Fred at Brion. 6.5, 3. 3 is so low. This one you have to take a look at. We might just be in a jungler meta for kills. 3 just seems so low. So we'll include that for now. I think my favorite one from the KT Fred at Brion match is over for Umti. I don't think I really want to mess around with 80 carries right now. So those 3. Okay. And then let's see. For the IG EDG match, I kind of want to do the same thing. I think these are... I'm kind of surprised. Do we just want junglers over for the most part? I think IG EDG... I think that one should go over. The Top Esports BLG one is a little more scary for me. So I think that's what I would be doing. I want junglers in the over. I think that a reasonable number is 2.5 for a... I think it's probably... I think 3 kills in a win is what we should be expecting, with the upside of 6, 7, easily clear these numbers. And then they just need to get 1 or 2 kills in a loss. I think that's kind of what I'd be leaning towards. If you have a different opinion, please share it in the comment section. I'd be interested to hear it. I know a lot of people out here have been doing prize picks for a while. I don't think I can justify playing Top Esports and BLG players. They're kind of begging you to take this Weiwei one. If BLG wins a game, if BLG wins one of those first 2 games, you would expect them to get over on this. I'm just not sure I'm convinced. So ultimately, I think if I was going to put these in order, I think that the over I like the most is probably Canyon. The over I like the second most is probably Jai Jai. then Peanut, then Shun, then Umti. And Umti might be third or fourth, because that 3 number is just so low. That all that takes is like them losing one game with 8 kills, and it turns out like the Clid game from yesterday. I think the Clid one is less likely to happen than Umti. I think Umti has better kill participation in general. So that's kind of where my first instincts are for these matches tomorrow. So just to recap, in the first game we have EDG at minus 450 against Invictus Gaming. I think that betting on it straight up, I kind of do like Invictus Gaming plus 1.5. I think that you can justify playing Shun on Prize Picks because the 4 number seems too low. Jai, same thing. Shun is going to be probably the first or second most likely player on his team to get kills because junglers have so much agency in this meta specifically. In the top esports against BLG match, top esports is minus 250, BLG is plus 175. I think that if I was betting the over-under for kill totals in this game as like the total number, I'd bet under. These numbers are kind of like leaning towards the over, so it's kind of begging you to play the unders. I don't want to do that. I don't like getting into this spot. I think that Icon could slow things down. Icon has been on teams historically that have constantly gone under, specifically thinking about OMG. Then we have the next match is Genji against Damwon Kia. This is going to be a great match for League of Legends. I say this sometimes to people in Discord. It's like, there are games that I won't bet on or do Prize Picks or do DraftKings because I don't care about the money as much as I care about the entertainment of watching that matchup. I've been watching League for 10 years, over 10 years now, and there are certain matchups that you just want to enjoy. Even if this goes severely under and it's like 5 kills to 2 and that's like a 45-minute game, I'm going to be entertained. Since that's the case, I can just, bet the overs. In general, I like going after overs more than unders. I don't think that there's a big edge there or anything like that. It's just, in a game like League of Legends, especially right now, where there are a lot of opportunities for kills and the durability patch kind of incentivizes teams to get those additional opportunities because they'll survive some of these matches where it's like a 5 for 3 or like a 4 for 2 or 1 or 2 players gets picked off for a fight and they just wait until the next fight. It's just a lot of extra stuff going on. So I think that is going to be better for us. The Genji versus Damwon match, I would really hope that this doesn't go under. I think from a viewer's perspective, even though you can appreciate the lower kill score game, we all want it to be more bloody. And then in our last match of the day, we have KT Rolster against Fred at Brion. I don't have a good feel on KT and Fred at Brion. The problem with the LCK is that it's so top heavy. I just don't get much entertainment out of watching the middle and lower table teams. So if there's somebody else out there that you kind of trust their opinion, you're probably better off talking to them. With that being said, 3 kills for a jungler seems way too low. Even in a 0-2, Umti can easily cover 3. So that's where I would go for Prize Picks. So again, thank you everybody, all the new people watching on my channel because of Prize Picks. I hope that this information is helpful. If you have some opinions on the matchups or some good information that you think everybody should know or learn, feel free to post about it in the comments section. We're 9 subscribers away from 1,000, so we're getting very, very close. Once we hit the 1,000 subscribers, we're doing $500 in giveaways. So help me get there, and we'll start up those giveaways. And that's basically it. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.